Hello world, welcome to episode 33 of the Jimmy Canz Show. Classic Supercard Retrospective, yet again. Great American Bash, 88. Let's get into it, alright? Bash 88, NWA event, promoted by Jim Crockett Promotions, held on July 10th, 1988, from the Baltimore Arena in Baltimore, Maryland. Attendance was a solid 14,000. It was broadcast live on pay-per-view, later released on VHS by Turner Home Entertainment. Action was called by Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross. 5-match card. And now we talk about cards being, too big. Back then, with pay-per-views being far less frequent, one would think you would try to give the people a little bit more on a card like this to really give them a reason to shell out their money. So, don't know how to feel on that. But anyway, opening contest here was for the NWA World Tag Team Championships, representing the Horsemen, Tully Blanchard, the Enforcer AA Arn Anderson, with James J. Dillon, defended against pretty much a makeshift team of Sting and the Russian Nightmare Nikita Koloff. All right, it's an opening contest at a JCP Super Show. So we all know this is going to be some type of no finish of some type, really, right? Is it a DQ, double DQ, count out, time limit draw? Come on. Place your bets. Well, if you guess time limit draw, you win. Sting slaps on the Scorpion as time runs out. Pretty much the same finish that he had in his match with Flair at the first Clash. So, second match, another tag team title match. This one was for the United States Tag Team Championship. It was the champions, the Fantastics, Tommy Rogers and Bobby Fulton, defending against the Midnight Express, Sweet Stan Lane, Beautiful Bobby Eaton, and James E. Cornette was straight-jacketed and locked in a shark cage for this one. Great Midnight heel finish in this one, as after a ref bump, Stan passes Bobby a steel chain. Boom, down goes Fulton. 1, 2, 3. New United States Tag Team Champions, the Midnight Express. Third match. Oh, the cluster that was the Tower of Doom tag match. All right, this one goes along with the Bunkhouse Stampede in terms of who thought this was a good idea. 3-level cage. Participants entered in intervals. You had to start at the topmost cage and work their way down to the bottom, and the winner is determined when the entire team escapes from the bottom cage. Oh, man. I'll discuss the major issues with this one in my overview at the end. Let me just kind of bring it back to the match right now. Team 1 included the Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal, Precious Paul Ellering, Gorgeous Jimmy Garvin, Ron Garvin, and Dr. Dusty Williams with Precious. And Team 2 included the Varsity Club, Mike Rotunda and the Games Master Kevin Sullivan, the Russians, which consisted of the Russian Bear Ivan Koloff and the Russian Assassin, and the Latin Lover Al Perez with Playboy Gary Hart. So, how times have changed. This match at one point saw Kevin Sullivan actually choking Precious with a rope. Wow. You would not be able to get away with something like that nowadays. But anyway, the babyface team gets the W in this complete cluster of a match. After that mess, we've got the NWA United States Tag Team Championship match. Champion Barry Windham representing the Horsemen with James J. Dillon, defending against the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes Daddy. So the ref goes down in this one when Dusty has the cover. Shocker. And Ron Garvin comes out during this, and he ends up nailing Dusty with his Hands of Stone punch. Windham then turns around and slaps on a claw hold. 1, 2, 3, and retains. Post-match, they throw to the back, and you see JJ and Gary Hart had paid off Ron Garvin, who had a briefcase full of cash. So heel turn by Ronnie Garvin there. Last but not least, the main event for the NWA World Championship. Champion representing the Horsemen, Nature Boy Ric Flair with James J. Dillon, defending against the Total Package Lex Luger. Long match here, over 20 minutes. Lex is busted open in this one, if you want to call it that. I mean, he's barely bleeding. An official at ringside keeps trying to get the referee's attention. Luger slaps Flair into the torture rack. Referee calls for the bell. People are going nuts, thinking there's a new champion. Baby faces are storming in the ring to help celebrate with Lex, only for them to announce that the ringside doctor called for a stoppage due to Lex's cut. So winner and still champion Ric Flair, Horseman, still have all the gold. All right, man, did they Dusty finish this card or what? Time limit draw, foreign object finish, that entire Tower of Terror fiasco, an interference finish, and a false finish doctor stoppage thing. Wow. This second time in 2 years for a blood stoppage in a wrestling match. If this happened today with what we know about bloodborne diseases, I could understand it. But this was 1988 Southern Wrestling. Come on. Let me elaborate a little more on that Tower of Terror thing, because I was going to. The camera work stunk. Those at home had no clue what was going on. Those there couldn't see what was going on either. The trapdoors didn't work. The whole thing was a rickety, shaky mess, and it's lucky that no one died. I mean, it was just awful. It's, pretty clear, and, I love Dusty, all right, but he is Dusty finishing JCP out of existence. So, rating time, 10 belt scale, I'm going to give Bash 88 1 out of 10. Next up on the Classic Retrospectives, I will discuss the first SummerSlam 88. Here is the answer to the mystery belt from last retrospective. It was the WCW Light Heavyweight title. This was a title that was the forerunner to the Cruiserweight title. And I think I'm going to take a break from these mystery belts for a while. But in doing these, it got my wheels turning. And I think I'm going to start doing what I'm going to call the history timeline. And on these episodes, I'll pick a championship and I'll go through its history in terms of the title design, not the title holders. So why don't you guys post down below on what title you want me to cover first? And I will do my best to try and accommodate. So until then, be good to one another, stay safe out there, and I will see you when I see you.